Okay, so question number 16 says the engine of a car is developing a power of 90 kilowatts when it is moving at a horizontal road at a constant speed of 100 kilometers per hour. What is the total horizontal force opposing the motion of the car? So some important things here is one, that it says it's moving at a constant speed. So if we have our picture here, and here's our car, right? When it's driving, there's a force of the engine pushing it forward, and then there's also going to be the force of resistance pushing it backward. And that could be friction or air resistance or some total resistive force, okay? We're also going to have gravitational force pushing down, and we would have a normal force pushing up. Now we're going to know that based on Newton's first law, that the sum of the forces in the x direction is going to be the force of the engine minus the force of resistance, which is equal to mass times acceleration. Because I'm accelerating at 0, and that's where this idea of constant speed comes into play, I know then that the engine force is going to equal the resistive force, okay? Which I am going to then say that the power produced by the engine, the power produced by the engine is going to equal the power of the resistance. And that's simply because as it travels a certain distance, s, that's going to be the same for both the engine and the resistance, and the time that it takes to do that is going to be the same as well. So this is a pretty straightforward question. It gives us the power, which is 90 kilowatts, which we need to convert that into watts. So that's 90,000 watts. And it gives us the velocity of 100 kilometers per hour. And we need to convert that into meters per second. So that's 27.78 meters per second. And the reason we need that is because in order to use these equations, we need SI units, which watts is an SI unit, not kilowatts, and then meters and seconds is our SI units for velocity. Okay. The equation is power is going to equal force times velocity. We know the power of the engine is equal to the power of the resistance. It's asking what is the total horizontal force opposing the motion. So we're really looking for this force resistance. So power equals force times velocity. In this case then, we're just dividing each side by velocity. And we get that the force is going to equal the power divided by the velocity, which again is 90,000 divided by 27.78. And that's going to give me a value of 3,240 newtons. Okay. Again, an understanding of this is power is work divided by time. That's force times distance. Force times displacement divided by time. That's how we do work, right? And so the idea is this here is our velocity. Okay, if we're traveling at a constant velocity, we're going to cover 27 meters per 1 second. So that's our force. Our distance is 27.78. Our time is 1. And so that's how we would solve for force. And again, it relates down to power is force times velocity as well.